Hey everybody, welcome to Shark Jump Inc. I'm Corey.
I'm Dallas.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Shelby.
And I am Andrew.
All right, today we are busting out a brand new series. If you watch the video on Instagram or Twitter, you would see that we drew the Wolverine from a little container of randomly selected
It's over
movies. It is actually off screen over there. And so after that we watched the Wolverine, and now we are going to review the Wolverine.
Review the Wolverine.
Review the Wolverine. And who wants to start us off with that?
I'll start off. Well, there isn't a lot of competition, but it's easily my second favorite Wolverine movie.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah, I'll say. Ooh, yeah, obviously, number one would be Logan. And I feel if you haven't seen Logan yet, we might mention a few like semi-spoilers in this. We won't really try and spoil a whole lot for Logan.
But we're not going to dance around it.
Yeah,
either.
we're not going to, like, you should really see it. It's a really great movie. I also recommend seeing Wolverine. It's not terrible. It's watchable.
It's a movie.
You put it on the background and you just kind of
Right.
enjoy. You do something else, like play cards or something.
Yeah.
So
we did.
What are you talking about?
It's a good rainy Saturday movie.
Right.
But anyway, I do really enjoy it. There are some cool moments in it. There are also some really dumb moments in it.
Mhm.
Like there's a few cool fight scenes. Like the train scene is really funny.
The whole train scene.
It's cool and it is like cheesy as we
Right.
established.
But he is kind of smart about how
Yeah,
how he's
exactly.
fighting because he's on a
Exactly.
train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to spoil it for you. You should go watch it.
Yeah. But I would say this movie is forced in that second place position, not because of how good it is. Because when you have a great Logan and a terrible X-Men Origins Wolverine, it's kind of forced in there. But like we said, it is a movie. I mean, it's watchable easily. You go on.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, before we get on like major spoilers, I'm gonna go ahead and say we're not really gonna separate this video into spoilers and non-spoilers. This is a 4-year-old movie.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of a little safe on doing that, so we're not gonna separate this video today. My first thought, like pretty much like 10 minutes into the movie, this is an insanely just forgettable movie. It's like exactly what y'all said.
Right.
It's a movie. Like it's very formulaic. About, like I said, about 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, I've seen this. This is probably like the third or fourth time I've seen this movie. I forgot that happened.
I forgot that whole character was.
There was a whole character that was in the movie that I forgot about.
Wolverine's love interest.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The
I forgot that she was in the movie.
the secondary villain is very forgettable. The snake
Viper?
lady, Viper. Yeah.
Yeah. Very forgettable.
Yeah, she is because she only is in the beginning of the movie as like a reference, and then she does one thing.
Well, she sticks her tongue down his throat.
Right, and shoves. I forgot we're not doing spoilers.
Yeah.
She kisses Wolverine and puts a nanobot in his heart,
Yeah.
and then it's the rest of the movie.
It's
But you
somehow
don't really see her, but she like pops up in like a little bit, so you kind of forget about her during the movie, and then when she pops up, you're like, oh, she's a character because she really doesn't have any weight.
She's one of those characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not even really just a particularly interesting villain, even when she does pop up.
She really doesn't have any backstory, or you don't really find out her motives why she's doing it. You know.
And you don't really care.
Yeah, I'll say I'm with Shelby. I didn't care.
Right, but I feel like you would care if you knew her motives.
She was a good villain.
If you care a
But
little
she
more.
wasn't.
Exactly.
She was a glorified henchman.
Yeah.
She was kind of portrayed as the main-ish villain through most of it
Until the
until the
The
end.
twist end.
Yeah, and it doesn't really work for me.
yeah.
That's like y'all talk about how forgettable this movie is. There's really like before we put it on and watched it, there are only two things I really remembered about the movie. It's the beginning and the end.
I remember the end.
I remember the World War II. By
Yeah.
the beginning, I mean World War
Right.
II with the
Nagasaki.
bombing and everything. Yeah. And the end, like the samurai fight, like that's all. And I didn't even really clearly remember it. I just remember him fighting the samurai and getting his claws cut off. Like I completely forgot about the whole part where he shoots like the tubes down into Wolverine's
Right.
where
Yeah, the
his
drills.
claws were. Yeah, and tries to suck the
Healing
factor
factor.
out. Yeah, however.
A lot of plot holes in the
It doesn't
movie.
make
It doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
but really, that's all I could remember at the movie.
Like there might be some logic to it, like through like the mutants.
Bone
X-Men and all
marrow,
that,
maybe like
but
he's
it's
taking his
not-
bone marrow out of his like.
but it's
I
not
don't know.
explained.
Right.
is
It's just kind of
basically
like
the problem.
there, and they expect you to just like,
I think the
oh, go along with it. That seems about right. You know, just something like
I
that.
think the line is, through science, we figured out a way
Yeah.
to extract your powers and transfer them to another.
Yeah. Basically.
And so it's like, how can you do that? Science.
Science.
Science. Yeah. But there's also a lot of other plot holes in the movie that are just like they're just there. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So I just, like we said, it's an F movie. Like it's a movie.
I enjoy it. It's watchable.
I'll say
It's watchable.
I'll say two things. One, Hugh Jackman is good as Wolverine. Like, you're not gonna go in saying you're not gonna come out saying Hugh Jackman's terrible or anything. Hugh Jackman has always been good as Wolverine since the beginning and to the very end, really.
He's always the best part of Wolverine movies. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially in these first two, he's still the best part about it.
Mhm.
One thing that I don't particularly like is that this film is based on a famous comic arc for Wolverine that's set in Japan, but I feel like they didn't really use the Japanese setting except, hey, look, this is Japan. Look at these Japanese people and these Japanese things like the Love Hotel.
Right.
The samurai.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and
They didn't use it in an interesting way.
Ninjas.
yeah. The only like really part that had any weight to it was after you've seen Logan. If you've seen Logan, this is a major spoiler.
Yes.
So if you haven't, we'll wave at you. But mute it and then we'll wave at you. But Logan dies holding Laura's hand on his back in the tree, all bloody, right?
Yeah.
And so
In the movie, there's this girl that she has a powers where she can like see people's deaths, and she says that
Only
she
when it's
saw
convenient.
him. Yeah, she saw him dying, holding his own heart, and it was beating. And so it was point out sometime after the fact. I don't remember who
I don't
pointed
know.
out.
It's,
No, it was a director.
Yeah, he was like, oh, like he was holding Laura's hand. But then in the movie, in a few scenes later, as we found out while
literally
watching
like
it,
right afterwards.
she says like, "Oh, you died in a room similar to this," and it's like, well, that just takes away what you said.
It
Right.
feels like he wrote himself into a corner. I see how you die, and then when he did die in Logan, he was like, I connected those two things.
It's a
It's a
huge
fuzzy-
stretch. It's a
Yeah.
stretch.
It's
It
a
is
fuzzy connection in the first place, and it just kind of feels like it was done
Yeah,
after the fact.
she kind of fixes that by saying it's kind of like a keyhole. I kind of
Yeah.
see through it, like
Yeah.
into the death is through a keyhole.
Yeah.
So you can't really make up all the images, but it is very fuzzy how it does seem like he did write himself into a corner.
Can we bring the Logan?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
You could come back.
Yeah.
All right,
Something I have to say about the movie is, it's very but I mean, it's kind of, and I don't mean to like knock all of the X-Men movies because there are great ones and there are bad ones, but
what were you gonna say?
this movie is kind of is X-Men. You know what I mean? It's like where the whole series itself, it's got its moments where it's good and it's got its moments where it's bad, and it's confusing in parts because it all just kind of seems like it was
It epitomizes
thrown
it.
together. Exactly, it epitomizes all of the X-Men movies, really.
Okay, so far we've talked about how this movie's
Yeah.
What specifically was good or bad about it?
Like,
What sequences?
yeah, say the train fight scene's good. A bad fight scene is, I don't know, love whenever he was like taking the thing out of his heart, and then like she was fighting it. I thought that scene was like that fight scene was
Yeah.
But then whenever the Wolverine comes in, that's a good fight scene.
Right.
Whenever he's like just taking all the blows and stuff, and then he goes to kill him, and he's like, you know what? You tried killing your daughter. You live with that. And then he stabs him, and he's like, what monster are you? And he says, I'm the Wolverine, and kills him.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would say just a good scene is like, I like the tender moments in action movies. So the whole part with all the children around him when he's cutting the tree in half, and like he's like, oh, it's kind of like a family community type thing, and like he's kind of fighting for something, but then that gets you don't see them ever again,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of gets that's a good moment for me if it continued on in something, but I don't think it really did. It didn't really turn into anything.
I would extend on to your thing about the train scene,
Yeah.
and also kind of say that whole thing with like the it's a funeral, right, at the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
The funeral was also like pretty well done and pretty cool.
Yeah,
I did
it was
like
very
the
cool.
funeral scene.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Anything you want to add?
The only thing I'd like to add was the whole, two things with Wolverine's love life felt really forced. One was his constant dreams about Jean Grey,
We
where
talked about that.
Yeah.
yeah, Because honestly, I wasn't a big fan of that in The Last Stand.
Mhm.
That they did a romantic subplot with him and Jean, and then it just kind of a ghost from The Last Stand, and then the second thing is his romance with Mariko, because it just feels odd and forced and doesn't really align with the fact that he's still dreaming about Jean and stuff.
It did feel very Stockholm syndrome, because like
Yeah.
she was through a traumatic moment, and then Wolverine saved her, and then she was like, "Oh, Wolverine saved her." It kind of felt a little bit like that.
He didn't kidnap her. That's not
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome.
No, but
That's not what
That's not
Stockholm syndrome is.
syndrome.
it's in the way she was put through a traumatic incident, and then she got
I
rescued.
get what he's trying to get at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not the
Not
correct
quite.
term,
I know,
though, but
but-
yeah.
I couldn't think of the.
Maybe she fell in love with the villain, but not exactly.
Yeah. One thing that I was gonna say, the final fight scene, it has like some kind of cool moments in it. I don't love it. Like there are definitely parts about it that I definitely don't love. It's like it's interesting. Like especially the part where he's running and they're like all shooting him. Like I guess not technically the final fight scene, but right before the final fight scene, and they're like running, they're shooting him in the back. And I believe in the unrated version, they have a part where like he actually like murders a bunch of the ninjas and stuff. But I really like some of that. The actual like Silver Samurai is what they call them,
Right.
I believe. Yeah,
That's
the what?
Yeah, that's a big robot.
Yeah, that fight scene's but
It's not very good.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't really like it.
Honestly.
I don't know.
Morty or Rick. So there's one thing that I don't like about the movie is how they kind of took Wolverine's powers away twice, because it's like they took his powers away, then he fixed it. Then you're like, oh, he fixed it. That's what he had to overcome in this movie. Then they did it again because
Yeah.
I think he wrote himself into a hole by
Yeah.
removing the thing, and then he's like, let's just try to take his powers away again and see how
Yeah.
that works.
Because
So
at that point, he's like he's Wolverine again, and he can stop it. And they're like, well, how do we back him into a corner against
Right.
the villain?
Get rid of his claws.
Right. So, and that's another plot hole. Later in Days of Future Past, he has adamantium,
yeah.
and I don't think adamantium grows. It might in
The only
Wolverine's body,
thing-
but I don't think it does. So
The only thing that like we talked about like while we were watching the movie is maybe it kind of like moved around. Maybe Magneto moved the adamantium and like formed it onto the bone
Right.
claws. Maybe
Wouldn't
Yeah,
that
it'd be
have,
extremely painful.
That's never explained.
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
that
now
take like
it wouldn't be as painful as
say,
Nagasaki exploding on his back.
yeah.
right? Say like he's got like like his forearm. It's got the adamantium, and then his claws are adamantium. Doesn't that mean he's got like a bone arm now?
Well,
though?
it could have been like somewhere like different in his body. Like it could be like a rib. He like takes the adamantium
Right.
from and just moves it up his body. I mean,
It's personally pointless to argue the plot holes
Exactly.
and continuity of the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they are.
Like I said, they're
It's
very
messy.
confusing.
Yeah.
And they're kind of glaring.
I do.
You just gotta brush over them, kind of like in the moving.
I do like how it leads into Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And like
With
it
that
gives that cool
post-credit scene.
moment. Yeah, the cool moment with Magneto, and then Xavier shows up, and like you kind of realize like they're all working together. That's really cool.
I think that was probably one of the best scenes in the movie, the post-credit scene, because
It's kind of sad.
right.
Well said.
Well, and then it turned into Days of Future Past, which was really this. We have to fix everything that we did.
I was like, I love Days of Future Past
Yeah,
personally.
it was a good movie, but it was born from the we have to fix everything so we can reboot the X-Men franchise,
Yeah.
which not a bad thing. I agree with that because I think the next movie is going to be good. What's it called? The
Dark Phoenix, I think.
Dark
Sounds
Phoenix?
right.
Next one.
I don't know.
That's the next one, I believe.
Or
Dark Phoenix is the next one, and then there's like
where's
the
the,
YA.
which one's
one.
the New Mutants?
New
That's
Mutants
the
is
YA.
That's
right?
a
New Mutants
spin-off.
is like a YA movie. It's gonna be more like a horror movie.
I
That's what
gotcha.
I've heard.
Gotcha.
I gotcha, but I think those might turn out really well. I like First Class a lot, and then Days of Future Past was good as we said. So
Right.
Either
think-
X2 or Days is my favorite of them, excluding Logan and Deadpool.
Right. But Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine.
Wolverine.
right, so
Yes,
anybody have any?
Final
I think
thoughts?
that's about all we have to
I
say
was gonna
about it.
say I think
We can go to ratings.
we can go ahead and go to ratings unless anybody else has anything to say about it.
I
Bye.
know, and I just don't have a whole lot to say about the movie, honestly.
I think we covered it all. Like, I really do. I think it's just that kind of movie. You want to go ahead and go first?
Yeah. So like I said, it's good in parts, it's bad in parts, it's kind of holy, and it's just overall it's kind of So I'm gonna give it a 6.4.
All right. It's a movie that I can still sit and enjoy. Like, if I just don't think about it, like for a lot of things. Like whenever I watched it this time, I was like thinking kind of like real nitpicky things in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But so probably like 7.3.
Ooh,
It's pretty high.
Very forgettable movie. It's something you could sit down and watch. It's not overly long. It's not really boring. There are boring parts about it, but the movie's not really boring. There are goofy parts about it. There are good parts about it, but overall, it's kind of just like your run-of-the-mill superhero movie. It's kind of what it feels like.
Exactly, yeah.
It feels like somebody typed in superhero movie into a computer, and this is what popped out. So I'm probably more around probably a 6.2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. In general, it's a forgettable superhero movie that's got good and bad moments. But honestly, when you finish watching it, it's kind of hard to remember a lot of things about it. I'm gonna go 6 straight up.
6 straight up. Well, I would say this movie's neither a pass nor a fail. If our points are a grading
It's
scale,
like smack dab in the middle of that.
if
like,
our
barometer.
points were a grading scale, I would give it a 6.5 because I think it's watchable. I think it's something you put on in the back of a party, and it wouldn't be bad for people to sit down and watch.
Yeah.
It's something in
Yeah.
passing.
Right.
So I'll give it a 6.5. That's my grade.
All right. So I think that'll wrap us up for today. Does anybody have any house cleaning that they want
I was gonna say one thing. Y'all all like talk about how much y'all forget it. I honestly remember like everything. I don't know what that is, like why, but like I watched it. I'm like, yeah, I remember all of this, and I don't understand it.
to? It's because you're very strange.
Yeah,
That's what it is. That's
I
what
am
it
the
has to be.
beholder.
yeah. I don't understand.
But no. So anybody else? All right. So this is gonna be a series that we continue. Not every. It's not gonna be every
No.
week kind of thing because we're gonna review movies that go into the theater a lot. But when we do, we'll probably post like a tweet and then follow our Shark Jump social media on Instagram and Twitter, and then you'll be able to see the drawing and see what movie we do before we do it.
We also have a Facebook page.
Yes.
We didn't
Facebook page.
we didn't post a drawing on there.
Yeah, as
but
we say, we don't know if are we gonna do the drawing on the Facebook page from now on, or
We
what are
could.
we could.
Let's
We'll see.
leave
We'll
up
see
to
what
chance.
happens. But anyway, that'll do it for today. And enjoy this shorter video. Like this video, comment under it, subscribe to the channel.
One more thing. Wednesday, I posted a video. Go check it out.
He posted a video Wednesday. Go
We're
check
trying
out
to-
that gaming video.
We're trying to break through into the gaming industry
Right.
because it is pop culture, and we are a pop culture channel.
Our pop culture channel.
So
Don't we can find ourselves.
it's a Fortnite review. It's a new game that came out Tuesday.
Yes.
For the
yeah,
open to the public
yeah, officially,
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So go check it out. It's a lot of fun. You go see my thoughts on it.
So yeah, check that out. Do all the aforementioned things. Have a nice day.